Yo, creeping in the dark, life nocturnal, dark and dark, both paths arboreal to terrestrial. Sticky toes gripping forest students that explore. Listen close, Gecko podcast, that's knowledge galore. Reptile talk, host Anthony and Jason. Trade secrets flow, no time wasted. From tropics to town, it's sight raining. With every chat, reptile game changing. Escaping heat waves, tan under rays, desert sand echoes, sun blazing days. Little hustlers, camouflage a maze, catch them speaking wisdom, the wild.
All right, what's going on, everybody?
Welcome.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Today we got a dope episode for y'all. We're gonna be talking about the whole Oedura complex with Mr. Wyatt Guzzi. Before we get started, if you are not a BMC member, you might want to go ahead and get on that. Links are all in the show notes. We just dropped a new bonus episode. We talked with Mr. Huff's Herps, Mr. Seth, all about feeders. Go ahead, hit that link, subscribe, donate, whatever you want to do. Get those bonus episodes. Those from now on are going to be strictly only bonus episodes. For like Spotify and YouTube, so you will have to have a link for that.
Definitely want to see him, man. It was a good episode, great episode. Seth's got some super amazing tips and tricks on how to, keep your feeder super healthy. It's a hobby-wide problem trying to keep crickets alive, right? I mean, he's got some tricks and things that I've even picked up from him, and I don't necessarily have a problem keeping crickets alive. But it's something you're going to want to check out, guys.
Yep. All right. So, Mr. Wyatt, what's your herp origin story, man?
What's that?
So, what's your herp origin story? How'd you get into this hobby, bro?
I kind of got into it through my dad. My dad got me into reptiles when I was pretty young. I mean, growing up, me and my brother would always run around the ranch and run around in town everywhere we went looking for reptiles. Besides that, I got a bearded dragon when I was 7. Yeah, I was 6 or 7 when I got my first beardy. And kept those for 15 years or so. So had them all the way through junior high. And I kept those things for quite a while. Worked with leopard geckos after I was about 12. I don't know, about then when I got into them. But yeah, that was where I started, and mainly just keeping just those for the first 10, 15 years of the hobby or whatever.
Yeah, it's not exactly easy keeping bearded dragons healthy and thriving, right? Everybody makes it sound like they're a beginner reptile, but in the grand scheme of things, and in all actuality, they're pretty needy animals,
Yeah,
you learn
cool.
that at a young age. Pretty good, pretty impressive.
Yeah, they were really cool. I got into them because I had some friends that had them, so I was going over to their house. I was like, oh, these things are really cool. I want to get them, and we finally did, and had them kind of. I don't know if we had them set up the right way or whatever per se, but we kept them together. Didn't know we had a male and a female. Had babies, all kinds of stuff like that. That's kind of what got me into breeding stuff too, I guess.
So, like I said, we are here to talk about some good old Oedura, the good old complex of that. Seems like it's booming right now. Like these, you starting to see all these. Everybody's starting to post them a lot more than they were even a few years back. I get for some folks it's a trendy thing. I think I've had Oedura probably for 3 years now, 3 or 4 years. Very, very dope gecko. It's one of those geckos, I don't even know how to really explain it. They are just a really good gecko, really good pet gecko to have. They're not crazy flighty. They can be personable with you. It's they check a lot of these boxes that people
we were saying yesterday. They check a lot of boxes. They have a lot of valuable characteristics that a lot of the most popular geckos have in one package. The size, the handleability, the ease of care. There's the variety in looks and locales. There's a lot going for them, and yeah, they have overnight, literally, from someone that doesn't keep them's perspective. It seems like literally overnight they just took over the gecko scene. Everybody's got them, everybody's working with them, everybody wants them.
Yeah. So so which species are you working with right now?
I'm working with a few. I have let's see. I got Fimbria, I got Monolith, Castelnaui, Kagrai, Cincta, and then over at Landon's house we have that pair that we don't really know what it is. It could be, it's most likely Cincta, but it could be Marmorata. It's something else in the Marmorata complex.
Okay.
How many is there altogether? How many actual species are there?
So like if you want to go across like the breakdown, so there's 25 species that are considered velvet geckos in Australia.
Wow.
There's more, but there's 25 recognized species. 4 genuses that make up all 25 species. There's Oedura, which is the biggest. It's got 19. And then there's Nebulifera has 1. Amelosia has 4. And Hespo-Oedura has 1. So that would be like the species and like the 4 genuses that encompass all of them.
And which ones do we have in the US?
Oedura. We have Oedura and then we have Nebulifera.
Okay. Yeah. I've had a Nebulifera as well.
Robusta.
Back in the day. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're really
mean,
cool. I'm supposed to be getting one on a trade for some Viper geckos.
Nice. Oh, nice. Yeah. I love the coloring on them as well.
Yeah,
it's like
beautiful.
almost like that purple to velvet or pastel.
Yeah, like
very nice. And they don't get crazy big either.
No, they're small. Most of the species are smaller than like a viper, or not viper gecko. Sorry, like a leopard gecko would be.
Yeah,
a little bit smaller than a leopard gecko. There's some that are just as big for sure. Fimbria get massive.
Yeah. How big do Fimbrias get?
I can't say because mine aren't adults yet. So like personally, I've never seen an adult in like hand, but the one that we got sent that's down at Landon's is huge. That thing's got to be like 7-8 inches long.
Nice. It's a good sized gecko right there.
Yeah, it looks pretty good size.
Yeah. So, can you kind of go over, discuss like their natural habitats, and then how do we look to recreate that stuff in our enclosures?
So they come from like a pretty broad area in Australia. They come from all over. There's like the Marmorata complex stuff, which is going to be your marbled velvet geckos and stuff like that. They're kind of like the top end, and then they go Western Australia. And then Cincta, they come all the way east, but not all the way to the coast. They're a little bit further inland, but they're up top too. And then you have your Eastern Oedura, which is going to be like Castleknowi, Kagrai, Tyrone. There's a bunch of them. Sorry, I'm trying to list them off. Let me get my phone out so I can actually list off all these species names.
You're good.
You got Monolith, Tyrone, Cincta, or of course I don't have them in order.
Oh, you're fine.
Cincta and Cincta. My bad. I'm butchering that right now. Should have got my notes better.
No, you're all good, bro.
But as far as like the ranges go, they're all over the place. They're
okay.
So
for the ones that you keep, we'll focus on the ones that you keep, and then how are you keeping them?
Okay. So I basically set them up. All the Eastern Oedura, I'm setting them up with just a couple simple parlor palms, like little basic plants, because they come from like subtropical. I believe it's subtropical. It's not sub-arid. It's subtropical or something like that.
Yeah, because I know some of them you find them like along the rocks, like rocky outcrops, right? And then usually there's like almost like a creek or something that's right next to them.
Well, a good majority of like the eastern ones, they're going to be found in like ironbarks and stuff like that, like eucalypt savannas, ironbark forests, like peeling bark trees, where the bark peels back and they can tuck down under them.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of the western species and stuff like that will use more of like the rocky habitats and all the crevices and cracks of the rock gorges. And then there's like the Gracilis complex, which has Felicipoda that we were talking about earlier, and Felicipoda, Gracilis, and then there's one other one over there. But they're all like in the rocks in the gnarly desert country.
Do any of these species that you know of cross like geographical ranges? Like, is there any like areas where you may find more than one species?
Yeah, a lot of them, especially like the eastern stuff. The Castleknowi, they're like top end like area of eastern Australia, so they're going to be in like Cape York down to like Townsville, I think is what it's called, region. And then some of the other ones like Kagrai and You'll find monoliths in that region too, but not as much. Like higher up, you're not going to find those ones. You'll find them a little bit more mid-country. So in the bottom of what is it? It's Queensland, and then in the top of New South Wales.
So, being that you're focusing on these species, have you reached out and done any, conversating with anybody from Australia that may have the opportunity to, observe them in the wild? Have you spoken to anybody that's actually gotten to explore their range or anything firsthand?
Yeah, I've gotten to talk to a couple people. So I talked to is it Hassan Istanbuli from the Knob or the
Well, Hassan, yeah.
yeah, sorry, that's who I got my Fimbria from too. But yeah, I got to
Nice.
talk to him a little bit, and him and Frank went over there, and they got to go explore all over and take pictures and stuff. He sent me a whole file
That's
with a bunch of pictures and kind of
beautiful.
like images I was able to reference a little bit. They're mostly like close ups of
Priceless.
reptiles, but
It's
yeah,
priceless information. I mean, that's always something I look for. When I get a new species, I look at the region and I look for people that have been there. It's reading books. I mean, I hate to say it, but a lot of the time we're reading books and information that's, super speculative information. It's people giving us their opinions on what they've observed in captivity and not firsthand in the wild. So
yeah. Yeah, and a lot of the stuff with Oedura too, especially, it's like old. It's really old stuff. Some of the first species were found in the 1800s, and then later on there was a couple species in like the 1960s, and then the 70s and 80s there was a few more, and then really there's
nice.
been like a boom of them in the early 2000s and mid 2000s. So
Nice. I can imagine. I mean, not for nothing, but the reason I asked if they have crossing ranges is I find in my experience with a lot of animals, and I don't just mean hybridization, but animals that cross ranges typically have a lot of new species that pop up. Maybe it is hybridation, maybe it's not, but when certain animals continually cross ranges for hundreds of thousands of years, new species like continually pop up and they keep finding them. Like the geckos Jason keeps. Like they're continually finding new species in Indonesia. These geckos just keep crossing ranges, and I'd imagine there's these secluded geographical areas where new species pop up because two species cross area X for 400 years. It's interesting. It's interesting to put a geographical like vision to these animals.
yeah, for sure. And there's kind of stuff I guess that would pertain to that with Oedura, like the complex stuff wise, like
Hmm.
the Oedura specifically, so not Hespeoedura, not Nebulifera, any of those ones. But Oedura, there's a couple of geckos that are considered complexes or like groups. I don't know if they're exactly
Makes
like
sense.
divergent from the same gecko, but they kind of like group them up and lump them up in areas and different
Makes
geographical
sense.
ranges. But
Nice. We did get a question in the chat. In your opinion, what is the best Oedora?
just like in general, best Oedura.
Yeah, yeah, the best species in your opinion.
My favorite, like as far as handleability and all of that, and just like cool factor wise, I think are the Kagurae. They're kind of shy, but they're really chill.
Yeah,
Like out of all the Oedura that I keep, they're the chillest.
yeah. I mean, they do have like that nice stunning pattern to them.
Yeah,
I
they're
like that
those
black and
those and the
yellow.
Trione are really pretty.
Oh, yeah, yeah, the Tyro. Yeah,
And they're just all that is so they're part of that like complex thing that I was talking about. That's the northern and the southern form of the spotted belted gecko.
oh, okay,
So you have
nice.
Oedura Kagurae, which is the northern form. They're going to be up a little higher, like closer to
Mhm.
like the Castle Maui and stuff like that. And then the Chironi are they're down below New South Wales
Okay.
and whatnot.
So, for I guess for let's got how like for your enclosures, like what kind of temps are you aiming for? Like, and then what kind of seasonal changes do you try to do when it comes to like cooling them down and everything like that?
So they do need like pretty gnarly seasonal changes. I guess not gnarly, but like they need a winter, they need a monsoonal season. You want to do that for them because they're going to experience that in the areas they come from. Almost all the species will experience some sort of monsoonal season from like November to April. The western like the Western Oedura don't get as much water in their year as Easterns will, but they all get a season of like high, wet, and dry.
Okay.
I don't know really how to put it, I guess, but a monsoonal season is a must. And then
Yeah.
I don't know. I try and aim for like 85 to 89 for like their basking areas throughout the year, and
Okay.
then I'll drop it down in the winter. I'll let it get cold. I'll let it get like all the way down into the low 50s at night times, and
Yeah. It
I'll
seems
turn
like
off
all
there.
Australian stuff needs that crazy cool down.
Yeah, they
Like
do
compared
everything.
to other reptiles in the hobby, like not a lot of them need a crazy cool down like most of the Australian stuff does.
Sorry, what was that?
Uh, I so compared to like most other reptiles in this hobby, we don't like a lot of the Australian stuff has to be cooled down to these crazy low temps compared to like a lot of the stuff like no, well even like I don't know how low leopard geckos will go,
Yeah,
or I mean a lot of people don't a lot of people don't really cool down their like new cow stuff, uh, not to the point to where we do for our Aussie stuff where we get them down to the 50s and 40s.
yeah, and it's not all of the Oedura that need it that cold. Like the eastern species aren't going to need like as drastic of a temp drop. They have a little bit more stable temperature throughout the year over there. But the
Mm-hmm.
western ones, they'll need it to drop a little bit, and then anything that comes down from like the southern side of Australia is going to need it to drop down pretty good.
Go ahead.
What are you feeding these guys?
I'll feed them like crickets mostly, mealworms, and then dubia,
You
and
doing any
then
type of
I get
special supplementation?
what was that
You
supplementation? Yeah,
doing any
I
type
do.
of yeah?
I use mineral, and then I use like most of the Zoom line products, their calcium, and then some of their supplements and whatnot.
So we got a question in the chat. So do you match their seasons? Like example of like matching their winter to our summer months. Are you on like the Australian time with them, or are you
No,
doing it
no, I
for
it would be too
where we
hard to
are
do
here?
that because it's like kind of
Yeah,
flipped from our seasons. So I
yeah.
just
I think
I
your
let them.
AC bill would be crazy.
Yeah, exactly. You just be running power to do the opposite of what you want it or what it's doing naturally, like outside. So
Yeah.
I let my season go when it goes, and I heat them up accordingly and I cool them down accordingly.
Okay.
What are you doing for lighting?
Everything I'm running right now with, so I have UVBs over everything, and then my Western species are getting a 50-watt halogen, but they're not the Eastern stuff. The Eastern stuff, I'm letting them just run over UVB. Later on in the year, I'll put a 25-watt halogen over my Eastern ones, but they don't need it as hot. The Western species, I'll get as hot as my Stropherus.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
But
Another question in the chat. How, they ask how communal are they, and can pairs or trios be together year round, or do you have to separate and reintroduce for breeding?
so that's something I've read before. People with Oedura specifically have had problems on reintroduction with females and males. So I have been keeping my stuff paired up since I paired them this year, and I'll keep them paired up year round. My castle now I've
Okay.
been together for 2 years, and they've been perfectly fine. The male leaves the
Mm-hmm.
female alone in the winter, and kind of just starts bugging her once the temps like come up to into the 80s.
Yeah. So what was their explanations on that? On uh they weren't getting, or not even getting along, but just weren't getting that production.
No, I don't know why they would have problems on reintroduction. I know that the reason like they were not doing it anymore was because they were when they would reintroduce they would fight, so they would like
Oh,
kill each
okay.
other and stuff.
Oh shit.
But yeah,
Damn.
Oedura can be pretty brutal during breeding. You'll hear them; they get pretty loud, and they bite each other a lot.
Hmm.
I have a
Yeah.
mono.
How are you setting enclosures up? Are you setting them up more like a strictly arboreal tank, or are you leaving them?
No, they have
How are you setting enclosures?
So something I'm trying to do this year is I'm gonna try and recreate like exact habitats of what everything is gonna come from, in the wild, that is. But right now I have them set up pretty simple. I have them set up in 16 by 16 by 20 reptibreezes, and then I have the walls polywalled, and they so that just kind of keeps like everything in there. There's no more screen. And then I do a background. So I just do a background with like a couple little rock stacks and some crevices they can get in, and a bunch of cork bark, and call it good. And then
And
like
you're doing that the
they
same
get
for
big.
every species, or are you changing them slightly to different, species to species?
So the Fimbria I have set up a little different. They're the first ones that I kind of got set up naturalistically like I want them.
Sure.
So they have like a cool little rock background with little cracks that they can wedge themselves into, and then some dead wood. The pictures that I got, there's not a lot of like wood out where they're from, so I don't think it's necessary, but they need cracks to get into.
Yeah.
So just setting them
Yeah.
up like for the areas they come in
Yeah.
or come from.
Nice, very cool.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that. Like with my Oedura, he or she, I don't know, it's a little baby still. Likes to go. I do have cork in there, but I have some like cork tubes, and it will try to fit into the tightest tube
Yep.
possible. Scares the hell out of me sometimes.
Yeah.
I was
I,
like, maybe one of these days, like when it's out, I might take that cork tube out just to, because I remember, wasn't it? We were talking with David Kelly, and that he like one of them was almost stuck in there. Yeah, and he didn't. He's like, well, in the wild, they would have to figure it out. So
You
he
know what I
said,
think would
I
be a
might.
perfect
they'll
enclosure, at least when I think of them, is the one Landon built for the shielded lizards he has. So the what are those things he has? I think that'd be
the
the
girdle.
sickest enclosure for
You're
one
talking
of
about the
those.
armadillo ones?
The
Yeah,
armadillos. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
practice.
Where it has like those little slates going, kind of.
Yeah. But you could even
Yeah,
do it the way he built it, but do them like horizontal, vertically rather. You
Yeah,
get
so
what I'm saying? Like where it
that's
looked like splits in those limestones.
hmm that's kind of what I have set up right now for like the rest of my
Right.
eastern species. So my monoliths, my Kagrai, and my Castle Nowai, they're all set up pretty similar. They have, like I said, those little slate stacks that they can go into.
Yeah.
It's all foam, by the way. It's all foam that's
Yeah.
been
yeah.
mortared and then stained or colored, to look natural. And then I put like one parlor palm in there, and then a couple of upright branches that they can get on and crawl in. And then cork rounds are nice because, like I said, they like to get down into the wedges and in the bark, so they'll go into the cork rounds and just hang out in there.
Yeah.
What are you doing for
So,
water with these guys?
no, go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
have water bowls with all of them, but they don't tend to drink from it. So I spray. I spray daily,
Okay.
just like a light misting. And then, like I said, they need a monsoonal season. So when I start to bring the temperatures up, I don't do it like for as long as they might get in the wild. But when I start to bring the temperatures up, I start to spray like 2 or 3 times a day. I spray them heavier.
Okay,
Nice.
nice. No, I was gonna ask. So when because you were talking about making like your backgrounds and stuff,
Mhm.
what are the tools you're using for that stuff? Like what kind of paint and uh if you're using grout, all that stuff. Like kind of go into detail with that stuff because I know people always ask about that kind of stuff, and
Okay,
people
as far
generally
as
like.
tools go, people would probably laugh at me because I literally use a serrated knife. That's the only tool I use for cutting and carving. But as far as like products wise, yeah, I use a simple step like 2 mortar, and I use that as like my coats that go on top of the foam. And so to start out, it's a base layer of an XG, like a hard foam, and then I'll use spray foam everything in, and it kind of locks it down. And after that, then you coat it like 4 or 5 times, however thick you want the coating to be on there of mortar. And then from there,
Nice.
you can black wash it. You can do like dry brush methods and like brush stuff in really nice. But I don't tend to do that. I'll usually black wash it, do a couple little detailed brushes, and call it good.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I just know people always get kind of. Or like not afraid but just hesitant on trying to do this stuff because they don't really know because they're like, oh, what should I use, and then next anxiety takes over and we're like, oh fuck it,
Yeah.
I'm not doing it no more.
Yeah, well, the
So
mortar and stuff is safe. Like if it's safe for people most of the time, it's like okay for certain stuff. With the paints, you'll want to use like acrylic based paints. I always stick
yeah,
to the acrylics.
okay, nice. So let's get into some breeding here. So uh which ones have you successfully bred?
I've only produced Castle Nowai, but I have
Okay.
Monolith, Kagrai, and Castle Nowai that are all gravid right now.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Oh,
So we're
shit.
gonna kind of get into this right here. So one, do you wait for them to drop duds before you actually start pairing them up?
I didn't with my Monoliths, but I did with my Castle Nowai. I don't
Okay.
think it's like 100% necessary if they're at like full adult breeding weight. I don't
Yeah.
think it's something that they like need to go through. But
Yeah. So do you go by weight or do you go by age?
I go by age more than anything.
Age.
The
Okay.
Oedura
And
are
what is it, like
typically
2
going to
years?
be at full maturity, and males are going to be like 18 months, females 2 years, and then some of the other species they say take a little while longer. Like I'm probably going to wait 3 years, maybe 4 years for my Fimbria. So
it's just because they're a bigger gecko.
Bigger gecko. They're going to get a little bigger. I got a frilled dragon trying to crawl down and check this out.
Question in the chat. Wally asked, "Do you provide lay boxes?"
Yeah, absolutely. I put usually just like a deli shipping cup. I'll do one of those. Cut the top with a little round hole, and then for a mix, I use like 75% sand, 25% sphagnum, and then I'll use Repti soil. And what I do is I take the Repti soil, I put it through my sifter, and I sift the finest like silt powdered cocoa that I can get out of it, and that's what I make my lay medium out of.
Nice. I love Repti soil, man. I use like that's a big part of like my whole substrate mix.
Yep.
Because I got a big old I was telling Ant before, I got this big old massive thing of peat moss from like Lowe's for like $13.
Yeah.
So
the big old like
use most of that,
bale.
And then I'll add some Repti soil into that, a little bit of sand, cork chips, and some sphagnum moss, and that pretty much goes into everything I have. Now, if it's a more arid stuff, I add more sand to that enclosure, and then just go from there. But no, it seems to be working. It keeps all my stuff that needs a little bit higher humidity seems to work out. So,
that's about the same thing I'm doing for all my stuff over here as well. It's a super similar mix.
Nice.
Are you doing anything else to prep your animals for breeding? Are you feeding them extra, or are you other than the cooling and whatnot?
I cycle feed them. Yeah, I definitely cycle feed them. So in the wintertime, my winter around here, I'm usually starting around November. So like after Thanksgiving, usually, I start weaning them off of feed, weaning the heat down, doing everything like that over a couple weeks, usually about 3 weeks. I'll just stage it off in like 2-hour increments or whatever. And then as far as feeding, I'll drop a feeding day throughout the week. And then like the next week, I'll drop another feeding day throughout the week until they're only getting fed once a week. And that's what I'll usually feed them for the winter. And I'll do that for like 3 months, and I bring them out. And then once I bring them out,
and how low of the temps do you do?
What's that?
I said, how low of the temps do you do when you start putting them through that cooling cycle?
So, like I was saying earlier, they're gonna start up in the 80s. So like their hot spot's gonna be in like the 85, 87 degree range for the eastern species. Yeah. The western ones are gonna be different. They're gonna be hotter. But the eastern stuff, they're gonna drop down 5-10 degrees a week, and then I'll drop them all the way down to what my room will drop to for night temps once it starts getting cold in the winter. It gets cold out here too. It'll drop down to the 40s for at least a week or 2 weeks, where I'm getting temps in this room of 48.
So you're in California, right?
Yeah, I'm in California, but I'm in like a channel. I live on my family's ranch, so we're out in the sticks, and I live in like a big canyon.
Nice. Oh yeah, I remember because like you do a lot of hunting and everything too.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, hunting, fishing, all that.
That's right up Ant's alley. He loves that shit.
My life, man.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, anything outdoors, I'm into it.
Yeah, there you go. So with the so after like you're bringing them back up, actually let's kind of talk about that part too. So when it's time to start bringing them back up, how are you doing that?
Same thing, but kind of in reverse. So I'll just like slowly bring back up about 2-hour increments at a time. I actually did the last increments I did were 1-hour increments, but you could do 2-hour increments. You're gonna be fine over the course of a week. If I'm running them at my lowest in the winter, I'm gonna be giving them about 8 hours of UVB and just UVB. They're not gonna get any heat, and I'll do that for 8 hours a day. Then I'll bump it to 10. Then I'll bump it to 12. Then I'll bump it to a full 14.
Okay.
Are you doing this with the UVB too, or are you totally cutting off the UVB when you do this?
No, they always have at least a little bit of UVB through the winter. Yeah, they always. But I'll halogens are off for at least a month straight. I don't have any heat running in this room, so everything.
Man, that's the part that scares the hell out of me. Oh, I gotta get used to that shit.
They experience it in the wild, dude. It gets cold out there, so they can handle it. Yeah.
I mean, I do know that, but once you put like that monetary value on it as well, like I don't want to lose an animal I just paid so much money for. I do understand it, and it's something I have to do. And I mean, like I said, next breeding season, I will be trying to do that because like I'll have some stuff here that requires major cooling. So like the 40-degree cooling. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try.
Yeah, I think I don't
Every
think
time I say it.
I don't think the
Because have you ever been outside in 40 degrees, man? That shit's terrifying,
it's
man.
cold, dude.
Fuck that.
Oh yeah, I've been out there,
I wouldn't want to
dude.
be hanging
I
out in
remember
it.
I used to when I was over in Afghanistan and Africa. Those winters, I live in a tent,
Yeah,
cold
that's
as shit.
brutal. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I can't. I
Now,
just feel so bad, man. I can't. That's why I don't keep these things. I can't do it. I can't live like that. I'm not letting my house get to 40 degrees. You out of your mind? Fuck that.
Yeah,
yeah,
it just gets cold out here. Like it's 40 degrees, not 40. It's like the low temps in here in this room will get to like 48, 49, like I was saying. And that when it's that cold in here, it's 26, 24 degrees outside. It's cold as hell. California does get cold.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I bet. Shit, you can snow in California, can't you? Up north, you can go snow. You can go snowboarding up north.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm on the coast. I'm not even up north.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm on the Central Coast.
Oh
So,
shit.
yeah,
Close to Santa Barbara? You near Santa Barbara?
75 and sunny all year long. It's not. We get 95-degree, 100-degree days out here, and we get hot weather, cold weather, everything.
Well, I've been to San Francisco. San Francisco isn't exactly like a pleasant climate, you know? I mean, I've been out there and been freezing my ass off in San Francisco.
And windy. Yeah, it gets windy too.
Okay.
yeah. So during so you're bringing them back up now. Once you're bringing them back up, it's you're just kind of heavy feeding them. Are you feeding them daily, or are you going just back to your regular schedule?
No, I bring them back onto like the same
Mm-hmm.
schedule. So I like do the same thing. I'll bring them back from the 1 day a week, give them 2 days a week for a couple weeks, and then I'll bring them up to that full. Like I feed my like normal feeding for breeding season is like 3 times a week, and I just feed them kind of heavy.
Yeah. And then
Have you witnessed any behaviors like movements or gesturing, or like how are these guys communicating with each other during breeding? Do they have any like special displays, if you will? Like
They tail wag quite a bit. They'll wag their
Really?
tails, and they'll like court. Yeah, when they're courting each other, they'll move around kind of cautiously. The males will, because the females are kind
That's
of
cool.
picky, kind of like some of the new cow stuff. Like a female will scream at a male. They'll
Really?
squeal at
they'll
them
arch
really
their
loud.
back too, right?
What's that?
They'll arch their back too.
Yes, yeah, they'll absolutely
Yeah.
arch their back like a cat gecko. Like
Yeah. I had a monolith do that to me.
They will puff up, and like they have like a monitor looking neck puff when they like really flare up, and they're
Oh shit.
mad.
Yeah.
So they'll do some crazy stuff. I have a video of a monolith that when I was like trying to get her out to like examine her, and she is squealing at me for like 30 seconds straight at the top of her lungs. It's wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But
Damn. Nice.
yeah, so I mean, as far as other gestures go, though, they're like you said, they'll arch their backs, they'll do that tail wagging, then they kind of like move in. They when they lock, they neck bite, and they do stuff like that, just like any other like gecko species would normally do.
Are they prone to dropping their tails? Do they drop, slack, regenerate tails?
I've seen a lot of people with ones with drop tails. None of mine have dropped their tails at all, and I've like I said, I've had them screaming at me, so I don't think they're that prone to it.
Yeah.
Do they regenerate them? Will they grow back?
Yeah, they'll grow them back, but they won't grow back the original pattern. So like a lot of them have like rings on their tails and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when they grow their tail back, it comes in like this like pixelated pattern. It's really weird.
Yeah. So, usually how long? What's like the gestation period for a female?
From what I've seen and noticed, it's like 45, 50 days when you start breeding them, when they like first come on to the season, and then like 45-day intervals between clutches, usually around there, about a month and a half.
I wonder why that is like that, and then like Strophaeus, they're like really quick. They're like 20 some days.
Strophaeus are definitely faster than the Oedura.
You think it's just because of the
hatch
more heat they get?
Because my Oedura, they take about 70 days to hatch.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's not too much longer than normal. Well,
It's only like about a week or 10 days longer, but still, it's a little longer.
Yeah, I just wonder if it was because of like Strophaeus are much more high heat, so they tend to lay more than what like an Oedura would.
I think
or lay faster.
I think too. Just Strophaeus in general are just like a live fast, die young kind of gecko. Like they just go, and then they die.
Yeah.
And they don't have like crazy long life expectancy. Like 10 years is an old Stroph. 20 years is an old Oedura. So I think that could have something to do with that. But I'm not a scientist or anything, so I wouldn't know.
So, being that you keep some species from different regions, I guess,
Mhm.
in slightly different climates,
Mhm.
do you have intentions of incubating these species differently? Are you going to do anything different with the
Every
different species?
everything that I've read, you could pretty much incubate them all the same. They're going to take a little bit time-wise, a little bit longer or shorter, depending on what species you're breeding. But as far as temperature goes, it's only a few degrees difference in like all the different species.
Makes sense. Makes
So
sense. I
I
guess. I mean, if you're burying
incubate
them,
my stuff at 82.5 degrees. That's what I've been running my stuff at.
and these
Yeah,
guys they bury their eggs.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll bury their eggs all the way at the bottom of the deli cup. I have one female that refuses to, so she's not gonna do it. She's
it's
gonna
I
lay
always
think we
one.
all do.
up.
We all got something that
Always
doesn't
one.
do what it's
Yeah,
supposed to do.
but they for the most part, yeah, they're gonna lay them all the way at the bottom of a cup, bury them, and then you're gonna see like a slanted like substrate in the deli cup. That's pretty
Yeah.
easy to tell when they've laid. They're also flat. They get pretty
Wow.
fat when they're gravid, and then they flatten out.
Yeah. Do you use the same? So for your lay bin, do you use that same medium when you put them in the incubator, or you do something different?
I kind of do like the sim container method with everything.
Okay.
So I keep them over, except I don't keep them over water. I keep them over vermiculite.
You
So
just soak that vermiculite, put
soak
a tray on
vermiculite
top.
50/50, water and vermiculite, and then set the egg tray right on top of the vermiculite, and then
Okay.
they're sitting in the egg trays.
Nice.
And
What
they're obviously laying clutches of 2 eggs, same as pretty
Yeah,
much everything else. 2 eggs.
yeah, 2 egg clutches, and they're not a hard shelled egg. They're like a leathery shelled egg. So
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
they're
Okay.
pretty pliable,
So
and they swell the last couple days of incubation, and then so they're kind of interesting. They're the first time I hatched them last year. I was like, whoa, these are different. My viper geckos just explode from their eggs, and these things like rip a little cut, and they like wiggle their way out,
yeah.
and they're all weird about it.
Yeah, I don't think people pay enough attention to that. I mean, not that I guess people are that interested in it, but from all the different species of geckos and reptiles in general that I've hatched over the years,
Mhm.
I find that one thing super interesting. How differently species, different animals come out of the egg, different ways. I think it's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, and then the velvet geckos just leave their shed behind. They hatch out, they shed out, and they don't eat it. They just leave it. Everything else,
That's
they
Freaking
Australia.
Australia, man.
shed stuff, and
Jason was
yeah, the
telling me this, and I
Aussie
like
stuff
have
doesn't
this like
mess with me.
unconscious, subconscious like thing to like not necessarily prove him wrong, but like find my aha moment. Like, and Jason's always telling me there's no Australian species that eats their skin. I'm like, there's gotta be, there's gotta be, there's gotta be.
Yeah,
Every freaking one that I come across or people I talk to, there is literally not one Australian gecko that eats its freaking skin.
none of them do. None of my stuff
Life must
eats
be
the
good over there.
sheds. Nope. They bite it
Yeah.
off and
No,
they
I
spit
got.
it out.
Yep.
So
Like sometimes
interesting.
they'll like so I do like the Oeduras for this because they will literally like sometimes peel off the whole entire skin in one pull.
Yeah,
Like you can
yeah.
see the whole entire is
I posted something the other day about that. They leave you little suits all over to clean up. It's like a little Oedura
yeah
suit.
yeah.
That's cool.
And like my Stropharis, some things that shit just every fucking where. It's like all right, man, I gotta get my little tongs out, start picking it all up, and I just throw them in. I just throw all the sheds into the isopod bins.
Yeah, you find like a little arm shed here and like a little tail here,
Yeah,
and then like little
yeah,
pieces everywhere.
yeah, exactly.
So when these guys hatch, do they look like they're adult form? Is there any sexual dimorphism? Can you tell the difference
So
from
they're
males to females via like looking at them, or
not
talk us through this?
not as babies. It takes a while to sex them. Like you can do the illumination and stuff like that to sex them as they're a little younger, but really you're gonna want to wait until they're about a year old before you confirm like what sex they are. And then you're gonna see like the hemipenal bulges, and then you'll be able to tell what they are. They also get spurs. Some species will have a cluster. Some species will have like an actual like 2 little spurs on the side. But the spurs in Oedura are typically like 70% bigger than the surrounding scales. So you'll notice that's something you'll notice off the bat when they're growing up is you'll start to see those spurs coming in. They'll get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're going to be a lot bigger than the surrounding scales. Their scales are really small and fine, so it's easy to tell that.
Color wise, are they identical? Like males look just like females. There's no difference, like
Yeah, there's no
with
like
chameleons, for example.
no, there's no sexual dichromatism or whatever that is.
Okay.
But there is so they do go through like an ontogenetic color change.
That's the
Their
name of the
patterns are like
J. Remember I was talking about this? All right.
Yeah.
yeah, their patterns are like inverse of what their adult colors will look like.
Okay.
So like when my castle now I hatched out, they hatched out with like black, and then they have like these little orange yellow bands across their backs, and those bands once they're adults are going to be like gray, white, and then the rest of the pattern is going to get that orange color through it. So they like flip pattern almost.
Yeah,
Okay. That's
yeah, I
cool.
noticed that with
Super cool.
the monoliths. They'll hatch out almost all black with some spotting.
Yep.
And then by the time they get to a full adult, it's like you said, it's reversed. So instead of all black, it's like yellowish purple, and then some black spots or something like that.
Yeah, the monoliths.
The interesting part about it is
monoliths
why.
are so underrated. Those things fire up the most out of like all the Oedura that I keep. They look like translucent pink and yellow at night, and they get like purpley colors on them. Monoliths are so underrated. If anybody's looking to get into Oedura, monoliths is a sweet species to pick up.
Yeah. I mean, and not for nothing. Like, I mean, it's crazy
they're
because they're like
the cheapest.
They are the cheapest. You could get one for like $100.
Yep.
It's crazy. Yeah.
No shit, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I've seen some for like $100.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How big do they get? How big do they get?
5 or 6 inches, I'd say, around there.
Yeah.
Like an adult
terribly small.
like, yeah, they're a medium gecko.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're
I'm actually in the market.
highly variable too.
I was telling Jason yesterday, I have this like I guess life milestone coming up. And if everything goes well with this milestone, I was telling Jason that I'm gonna treat myself to something like super special. These velvet geckos are on my list of potential animals that I'm going to get. I don't know what species. I was telling him I wanted the amel ones, the white ones, but
those are sweet. They're expensive.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm not trying to be a dickhead by any means, but I keep animals that cost $1,000 at minimum. You know, I mean, well, when I got them, you know, it's something that I'm going to keep forever. I mean,
yeah, I view it the same way. It's worth it. Buy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm trying to get some of those AMLs as well, because I have a het male over here, so I need to pick up a female so I can get to breeding a melanistic.
How available are they? Is there a lot of guys in your circle that are working with them? Can you get them easily or?
So the Oedura used to be popular. Like they were popular in the early 2000s, in the late 90s and stuff like that. Lots of people had them. But they kind of died off, and they like never really saw like their deserved popularity, as I'd say, in the internet age. So like I think now that people are able to access so many different things with the internet and everything else, people are picking up on them. People are seeing them, and they're like, "Oh shoot, these are really cool." But not as many people are working with them as they used to be, because there's no morphs other than the amelanistic that we've been talking about associated with any of the Oedura. So you're working with just species. You're working with different localities, essentially. Of
just as cool.
Yeah,
it's even cooler, to be honest.
They're all unique. They all have different patterns. They all have tons of different colors. They're all in their own right a really cool gecko.
Yeah. That's what draws me to Leachianus, to be completely honest with you. I don't care about, I mean, I think some of the morphs are cool, but it's hardly what attracts me to Leachianus. It's the localities. You know, I love the localities and the specific mountain ranges that animals come from. I mean, that's what really gets me going.
Yeah.
And I think the locality stuff is, with these species, is super cool. It's super intriguing.
Yeah, and that's like one of my like main reasons for liking them so much is they come from all over Australia, and I like Australia. That's what started me out in the reptile hobby. Like that's where I'm going to stay in the reptile hobby. But
got any plans of going to Australia?
Just gonna ask.
I want to visit Australia. It'd be awesome to go in the next couple of years, but it's like a time thing and everything else. I'd have to get time off for work and go out and do all that and save up for it, plan it out probably 2 years in advance. It'd definitely be a time and money thing, but I'd love to go.
Everything that you want to do always is some time and some money.
Yep. Yeah, but I definitely want to do it before I get too old or anything like that. Do it while I'm still able-bodied and I can go out in the bush for 2 weeks at a time or whatever and run around getting poked up by bushes and whatnot.
Don't get it twisted, kid. I'm 40. I still do it, man.
Yeah, no,
I
I'll
still
still be
go out
doing
there and
it.
have no problem, man.
Yeah, I'll still be doing it, but I
Love it.
don't want to do it, too late in life.
I hear you. Trust me, I hear you. You start getting kids and getting married and have a wife to answer to, life starts getting real hairy.
Once you got those
Real,
responsibilities,
Yep.
all that
real
stuff you
hairy.
want to do goes to the back end. That's why I told my son, like, once he got his kid, I was like, dude, all your dreams are now his dreams. So
Yep.
you got to go ahead and take care of him before you take care of yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the truth,
So
man.
for the hatchlings, how are you setting up your hatchlings?
So I have like a hatchling rack that I use. It's all 10 by 12 Exoterra Refubreezes. So basically like mini versions of the adult setups. And then I keep them on an even finer sifted version of the adult enclosures like substrate, but I'm probably going to switch them out to paper towels this season because I've heard of people having issues with impaction with them and stuff like that. So I can't say that I would advise keeping them on sand or anything. As
I was just going to ask about that. Nobody uses sand?
What's that?
I was just going to ask that. Did nobody uses sand with these guys?
No, I mean, the Fimbria, you can put them on straight sand if you wanted to. They'd be fine. I like to mix in a little bit of like soil with the eastern species just because they're coming from more like eucalyptus savannas and stuff like that. They're not going to be coming from just completely arid zones that are desert.
So for your like because you said you're using like Repti-Breezes, right? So how are you getting the substrate in there without it spilling out everywhere?
So I polywall it and then I silicone them.
Okay.
So I use like an 1/8 inch thick. It's almost
like how Jack does it.
It's almost like
Jack
an FRP board or like a thick, just like backer board.
Yes, FRP. Yeah, it's like stuff they use in like restaurants and shit on the walls.
Exactly. Yeah, you can wash it down. You can clean it up real easy. Yeah, Jack from Gecko to Culture, he gave me that idea. Super.
There you go. That's exactly what it sounded like. I'm like, it's what Jack does.
Yeah, Jack lives like 20 minutes away from me. Me and him hang out all the time.
Yeah, you guys go herping.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
He's a cool kid. He's a good kid.
Go herping out here. Yeah. Me and Jack hang out often.
Actually,
I did not know that.
Yeah. Didn't you guys? Because I think he didn't he tell that story? Because he's like, yeah, Wyatt hit me up.
Oh, with the salamanders? That's what he was
that you,
saying?
Wyatt?
Oh, yeah. After it just got done raining. Oh,
yeah,
we
like one night we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna make a mad dash. He hit me up. He's like, you want to go herping? I was like, all right, yeah, let's go. And we went up like 2 hours away to the pinnacles and found some. So
small fucking world. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was our first tiger salamanders. So that was a really special one. That was cool.
Nice.
So back to these enclosures. Now, how much does it cost you to buy? Just for anyone out there listening that may be curious, I'm in construction. I'm a carpenter, so I get what materials cost. But between buying a medium-sized Repti-Breeze and a 4x8 foot sheet of FRP, what type of price? What are the benefits? What are you saving financially versus going to buy a glass Exoterra or something?
So if you were to price out, so I have my racks are set up and in like 6 enclosure racks basically. I keep them on 3 by 18 baker's racks. So you can fit 2 of those 16 by 20s really perfect on there. Excuse me. And the rack will hold 6 of them. Perfect. And for a 6 rack with lighting and polywall, and then I don't think I included the backgrounds into that, but polywalled out and everything, you can have a full rack set up for like $700. Versus if you wanted to do 6 glass 18 by 18 by 18s, which is about the equivalent size, you're looking at a couple $1,000 all set up and having to put them on a heavier duty rack because they weigh way more, and you're gonna deal with all the other stuff that's associated with the weight.
I have like 7 of those 18 by 18 by 18s, 6, 7, 8 of them, and they literally warp the damn shelves. Man, I have to go and get freaking pine planks and put them over it. It's like I love the glass, but dude, it's a whole different ball game with the weight.
Yeah, and I'm starting to not like racks that are wider than 3 feet either for the stuff that I keep at least. The racks that are longer than 3 feet will bow in the middle.
So I got these other big racks, giant like garage racks. That it's the only thing that I could buy that won't bend. I mean, these things hold 2,700 pounds of shelf.
Nice.
Yeah, because I just got these 4-footers, but everything I got are all PVC on them, so it's not as heavy as doing like those glass ones.
Yeah.
It's the way to go, man. The lighter stuff. It's easier with moving around and cleaning and organizing. And you guys know how it goes. I mean, you may get a hair up your ass one day and want to just switch a whole enclosure around. I mean, I got to go to the gym just to lift my enclosures. Like it's
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
dude, I have like the Gastro, the Persina. They're in a 3 foot, a 3x3x18. Good luck moving that thing. It's like 300
Man.
something pounds. It's ridiculous.
Shit.
It's
Just
got
for the
like a
two
full
wizards in
background.
there.
It's got
Damn.
wood coming off of the walls and stuff. Got like 8-inch substrate barrier. You're not moving it.
Yeah, it's a
Damn.
pain in the ass.
So let's go. So how are they socially wise? How are they with you?
Like with me personally,
Yeah, like how's your interaction with them?
they're cool. They would rather you not mess with them 100%. They would rather, like with most animals, they don't want you to mess with them. They want to be left alone.
Yeah.
But you can go in, you can pick them up, you can handle them. Once you have them out of the tank, they actually handle pretty cool. Like they'll chill out on your hand. They'll jump from one hand to another like a crested gecko would. But there are like some species that I've noticed are a little bit more flighty than others. Like my castle
Yeah.
now I hate me. My castle now I will scream at me the loudest. They're the only ones that I've been like bitten by. And yeah, they don't like being messed with at all. And they're like that as babies too. My baby castle now I would dart away from me. It took me forever to get them to start like tongue feeding off of tweezers and everything else. Because I try and tongue feed all of them to get them a little bit more social.
Okay.
But it doesn't work with all the species. Some of them just refuse.
Nice.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So I got a random question, but I've been thinking here. You used to keep leopard geckos, you had mentioned.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
part of this show and podcast we do is try to expose people, some new keepers, seasoned keepers. We try to expose people to new species. Species that they may not have known about, species they may be nervous about keeping. Being that you kept leopard geckos, can you compare and contrast the two for someone that may not know? Like, if someone's thinking about keeping a leopard gecko, ease of caring, the information that's out there, and these velvet geckos, what are some things that people could look forward to? Like, instead of get a leopard gecko, this is just as easy. This is this. Can you compare and contrast, maybe,
they're gonna eat similar
without the
things.
obvious differences?
So like you could probably say like for feeding wise, they're gonna feed on super similar prey items, crickets, dubia, mealworms, stuff like that. Temperature wise, I think the leopard geckos are probably going to be a little bit warmer than you would keep most species of Oedura.
Means less electricity, people.
Yeah, exactly. It means less electricity for the Oedura. They're arboreal, which anything that crawls on a tree is automatically cooler than being on the ground. So that's a plus. They're definitely arboreal. Those things are never on the ground. I hardly ever see them on the ground unless they're test digging or going down to go take a dump on the floor. That's all they do. But
hell, mine don't even do that. Mine just crap. Like when mine take a shit, they just crap all on the background.
That's the other thing with Oedura. They crap like nobody's business. They crap a lot. Like you think Leachianus poop a lot? Oedura poop a lot. Like it seems like every time you feed them, they poop like 3 or 4 times. It's wild.
Yeah, I got a whole background I need to clean because
same
this
here.
thing likes to, because I got one in like in a 12 by 12 by 12 little baby, and the whole background like all on the top part just nothing but shit. I was like, God, it's
I'm looking at my Fimbria right now. My young Fimbria, the top 2 enclosures, they love to go up in the top, and that's where they like urate or whatever. So there's little white specks up there that I need to clean, and I have to go through the Oedura rack like every 2 to 3 weeks usually, and give it a solid like scrub down with a brush and get it actually cleaned out where it's looking good again. Otherwise, it's driving me nuts.
You throwing isopods or anything in your enclosures?
No, I'm not running anything bioactive. I probably could, but dude, I can't pony up the dough on what isopods cost to watch my geckos just smoke those things. That's what's gonna happen if I put them in with the Oedura. They're gonna get macked.
Yeah. So I have that same issue right now with some of my Certodactylus. They dig and dig and dig, and they should know like all my whole population's just gone. I was like,
really?
God damn it! Like I wanted to see that foraging instinct a little bit.
Yeah.
But they just went ham.
Yeah,
all right, no,
they just
wipe out the entire colony.
Yeah, that's Oedura that way too. They're pigs. If they're opportunistic and they're pigs. If there's food in there, they're gonna eat it all. They're not gonna they're not going to stop eating. They're just going to eat what you give them. So you gotta be careful when you're feeding them. You can't just go and dump, a bunch of crickets in with them. I offer 4 or 5 crickets per gecko when I'm feeding crickets. I'll give like 2 or 3 dubia, depending on the size of the dubia, and then I'll give them a couple of mealworms. They can eat quite a few mealworms, but definitely something you want to watch out for. They will get fat.
They are great hunters, though. I like them.
Yeah.
Like, they are on it. Like, once those bugs are in there, they are on it. They forgot about you. You're even there. They're so focused on getting them bugs. They don't care that door is open or anything.
Any time of day too. They'll eat morning, night. They don't care what time of day you feed them.
I said, Gerard said, I had a leopard gecko eat earthworms. Try some Canadian earthworms. Which, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they would or not, but I'm sure there's some sort of earthworms in Australia. They might eat worms. One thing I wanted to try is silkworms and moths, because they
will eat silkworms.
Yeah, they will, and they're nocturnal,
that.
and they eat a lot of moths in the wild. So,
hey, back to the hatchlings. Are you keeping them together? Are you keeping clutch mates, housing them together?
Clutch pairs, yeah. I keep them kept in clutch pairs.
And then, so how long do you wait to like upgrade them to enclosures? Like 3, 6, 9.
Depending on species, the bigger species will outgrow them a little quicker. Probably like 9 months for the bigger species. You can go probably a year or so on the medium and smaller species in the setups that I'm using.
Okay.
But if you can tell what sex they are and you have males, I would separate them. I'd get them moved into their own enclosures, separate them either into their own individual baby enclosure or get them set up in adult size enclosures.
Have you observed anything with clutches and their genders? Have you recognized any patterns? Are they typically both male, both female, 50-50?
I haven't produced enough to speak on that really. Okay. So maybe after this year I'll be able to tell a little bit more, but for right now, no, I haven't produced enough to know.
Have you read anything about temperature
stuff on them? But nothing pertaining to like being the same sex in a clutch, more pertaining to like people trying to figure out if they were temperature sex determinant like leopard geckos are and like some other stuff. People were breeding or trying to produce females at higher temperatures and males at lower temperatures or something like that.
But, what's the verdict on that? Are they doing it? Is it working?
It was inconclusive. So that was the one thing that kind of sucked, is like, it was like, oh yeah, sometimes you get males here and sometimes you get females out of this, but really you'll get either sex out of either range. So it was kind of an inconclusive study from what I read.
Makes sense. Find it to be very few species of geckos, in the grand scheme of things. Everybody tries it with every species. Everybody we talk to tries it with everything. And it's like very few geckos have actually been proven to be, temp sex dependent.
Yeah, and I don't know that they would be, because like I said, a lot of the species will hatch out at the same temperature range. So if they're all hatching out at the same range, they're probably just, going to be a mixed bag between what sex they are.
Makes sense for the success and future of a species for it to be mixed. Being Australia is such a hot place during the time of year these things are hatching, right? Like it just wouldn't make sense for something to be at above this temperature, everything's a male. Species would die off. It just doesn't biologically make sense to me.
But it's kind of weird with the Australian stuff. I don't know if you've noticed this, Jason, but it seems like a lot of people that work with Australian stuff produce a lot of males. It's something everybody seems to be male heavy. Everyone, at least from what I've heard and talked to.
I know right now, like at least I can confirm right now is that, I mean, for like my intermediates that I had, which Wyatt has. So
yeah, they're doing good actually. That's the one I posted today. She's test digging right now. She might have actually laid the clutch. I don't know. I don't think they've been. Nice. They were paired up a while ago, but not. I don't think long enough for them to lay a clutch yet.
Well, I mean, she lays like a crested gecko, dude. So watch out.
maybe she laid them already, but I'll end up checking.
I've only had probably 2 visual males like that I've kept long enough to actually see, and I generally they for those, like for the intermediates, I know usually it's about 4 months or so. I got one over here. Yeah, and this one was hatched out 5/24. Yeah, 24. So less than a year, and he already has his bulge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
and
starting
so
to
the other
show.
ones are females. So, so I'm not sure like how much of my stuff was actually males because, like I said, I sold a lot of them off before I actually like around the 3 to 4 month mark, so I
Gotcha.
couldn't even.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because the other one that you sent me was a little older, right? It was almost a
yeah,
year
yeah,
old.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think that one was over a year old. I
yeah,
think.
yeah. Because the
Yeah,
other male.
yeah.
Yep.
And you said you sent that one to Landon.
Yeah, I sent him over to Landon because they have some
Nice,
females. They needed a male, so it worked
perfect,
out for him and
nice,
Brandon.
nice. Get some new blood.
Yeah,
Good.
exactly. Keeps it close
That's
to
the
you.
hard part about this hobby with like the Australian stuff is always trying to find that new blood
Yeah,
because like
that's
you said, it's been
yeah.
closed
You
off
gotta
since
be
like the
willing to work with
70s.
people.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to work with other people. Like otherwise, this stuff's gonna die out. You
Yeah.
can't just
How tight? How would you describe the Oedura, the Velvet Gecko community? Are you guys? Do you guys work a lot with each other? Do you communicate? Is there a tight knit community around these Australian Velvet Geckos?
I don't even know that there is like a huge community around just like specifically Oedura.
Yeah.
As at least I'm not in any kind of like groups or anything like that.
I
I
know
just
there's like
try and
one
talk to other
Facebook
people
group.
keeping with them. Yeah, that's my like major problem is I don't have a Facebook and I like don't go on Facebook.
That
Your
is
life,
very
your
rare.
life is better off, kid.
Yeah,
Trust
for
me, your
real.
life is better off.
Yeah, like I'm not a very social person anyway, so going on Facebook, going on Instagram, all that stuff. That's why like my posts are like bare minimum quality. Like I post stuff and it's like as basic as it comes. But
Yeah.
trying to
Best
do
thing you
better
can
at it,
do,
trying to
man.
promote stuff a little.
Spend your time outdoors in nature. You'll learn more than social media will ever teach you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
when the world ends, I'll go out in the woods and I'll be fine. So
Facts.
There
I
you
tell
go.
people that all the time, and I welcome it. I
yeah,
welcome it.
yep,
I welcome it. I will thrive in the woods, the jungle, the desert, wherever I'm at. I will
yeah.
thrive by
Those are my
myself and my dog. Give me
yep,
my dog, I'll eat every night. I'll eat like a king every night.
yep, 100%. Agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Like I said, there's
But
only like one group, and that thing that is not active at all.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
anytime I'm on there, it's just not. There's
Like I
nothing
said,
going on. There's no information getting passed on.
no, they've
So
kind of
yeah,
died out in the hobby. So like that's why I want to like start
That was
talking
my
about
point of asking.
make them more
So
popular again before they're
what's the leading source of information for you guys? I mean, you both keep them. Where do you both go
Danny
to get
Brown,
your information? Huh?
Danny Brown's book,
yeah,
the Pygopods, Australian geckos
yeah,
and Pygopods. That's like
yeah.
one of the best sources on all
That's like the
Australian stuff.
Australian
It's
gecko
like
Bible right
yeah, it's
there.
like 100%. It's
You
like
know.
the Bible.
That's the third time I've heard about it. It's like an
Yeah,
Australian
if you're
Bible.
keeping
All right.
Aussie stuff, you should have that PDF or have that book if you can find that book. That book costs
Yeah.
like $475 though, so good luck finding it. I have it downloaded
No.
as a PDF, and anybody that hits me up, I will send
Same
you that
here.
PDF.
Yeah.
It's
Same here. I
awesome.
have it as a PDF, and then like I said, I printed out all the stuff that I wanted out
Yep,
of that
yeah,
book,
yeah. I
and
same here. Just keep it all
yeah,
handy. It's
and
That
then
much
like just
money for a book, huh? I
yeah.
got the Rhacodactylus. It cost me $1.50, and I was like, "That's a lot of money for a damn book,
No,
man."
it's
But you know what? Like,
it's an out of print book, so you're not gonna find it anywhere. And
but
yeah,
not
well,
for nothing. The information, at least in this book, and I'm not bashing these old guys because it's like you
I know
said,
they
it's
did
a
an
book
updated
that's no
one.
longer in print, but it's like irrelevant information, not for nothing. I mean, it's at least for the New Caledonia stuff, it's like very outdated information.
Yeah,
and
they
some
did.
of the stuff
I know they for
in the
the
Danny
Danny
Brown
Brown
book's a
one.
little dated too, though, because they
Yeah,
did
they
like
just
the
did another one,
taxonomic
right?
revisions in 2012 on Oedura, and then they
Yeah,
found more species. Like they found
There you
Oedura
go.
nisos, or like made it a full species in
yeah,
2020. That's like the most recent species of Oedura, and they're cool. They're like a
yeah.
little black and white banded Oedura.
Cause didn't they do like a revise of that book? I thought I saw it on eBay.
I don't know if they did. That'd be sweet because I'd probably try and buy it.
Yeah, I thought I saw it on eBay. I have to look it up real quick. But and then I mean the other people I go to, references. I'd reference Frank Calagico, his
Yeah.
Reptilian Diaries.
Yeah,
Looking at
Reptilian Diaries, all of his videos. Frank's videos are awesome. And then
yeah,
uh, the Knobtail Hassam, he has a bunch of information. I don't think he has like videos and stuff posted, but He was
No,
when I bought my
but
stuff.
I mean, he was there with
He
Frank.
was super cool to talk to.
Yeah, he was there with Frank when he went to go to
Yeah.
Australia, so he has that same experience that he
Yeah.
has. So
Yeah, they're both
both
in
of them
those
are good
videos.
people.
So
Yeah, and I did find
Damn
like
shame
one
Frank
article.
doesn't keep doing that stuff, man. I don't think Frank realizes how valuable that stuff actually is. Like he could be the next like I don't want to say Steve Irwin; those are big
yeah,
shoes to fill. But if he could get out there and just track all these Australian species and make these videos and documentation, it's like there's nobody really doing it. You'd think with all the people that live in Australia that got to have a passion for these reptiles, like someone would be doing this stuff. But I
yeah.
guess
No,
maybe they
there's
don't realize how big they are in American herpetoculture. Like Australian species in general.
Yeah, so on eBay, yeah, it's the guide to Australian geckos and pygopods in captivity, uh, second edition.
oh really? How
Yeah,
much is it?
Does it say
for
when it was printed?
no, I'm just looking on eBay right now. You
How
can
much is it?
$56.
Dang, that's nice. That's
It's
not
not
bad.
bad at
Yeah,
all.
Might
yeah, but
have
I
to
think
look
it
up.
comes from Australia, so it might take a while to get here.
Probably, yeah. Probably have to
Yeah,
pay.
well, it says estimated delivery is like March 31st to April 7th.
That's not bad.
So yeah, shipping it costs more to ship it than anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say shipping's probably gonna be an arm and a leg on it. Probably cost you more than the
Yeah,
book.
no, it's like $25 for
Oh,
shipping.
okay, that's not bad.
But yeah,
It's not
Yeah, that'd be
terrible.
worth. There you go. That's a worthwhile buy. That book is gold.
yeah.
And
I
I'm
mean,
sure
if it has updated
the
information on
revised
it,
book as
yeah,
well is
definitely.
gonna be better.
Yeah, I don't know how much of it is actually updated, so don't know.
Right.
So, besides that, let me ask you this: what would, in your opinion, what makes them a good pet gecko?
Probably like the best thing about them is there's like they're easy to care for. So there's not like a huge barrier to entry for like new people where if they wanted to get into them, they're not
Hmm.
crazy like requirement wise. You can set them up pretty simple and they'll thrive. They don't require like crazy temperatures. They don't need like a ton of like supervision per se. So I think their
Yeah,
ease of care is probably like the single most greatest thing they have going for them.
nice.
Another species that's easier to keep than crested geckos, guys. Keep trying to tell you this.
Yep. I would say yeah, they're every bit as easy. They're probably crested geckos.
Easier.
I can't bring myself like I have a pair of crested geckos out in the living room. But dude, I feed them crickets too, but mixing up gecko food, I hate that. I don't like mixing crested gecko diet.
Yeah,
So
that's a
like
pain in the ass.
yeah, it's a pain in the ass for sure.
So half the reason why I feed bugs so much.
Yeah, no, and I
Yep.
give mine bugs too. They smash crested geckos. Anybody that thinks crested gecko won't smash crickets or bugs,
Dude,
it's
it's
crazy.
like my biggest pet peeve, dude, is people that promote New Caledonia species in general as,
Yeah.
the easiest to keep because they don't need bugs.
Yeah, they do.
You are doing nobody any favors. You watch any species, maybe Leachianus are a little different, but any species of New Caledonian geckos eat a bug and tell me that they're not meant to do that,
Yeah,
you're nuts. Watch them eat bugs. It's what they're supposed to do.
yeah, they for sure they'll eat bugs all day.
Freaking
Yeah.
retarded.
And it's
It's a
another. I mean,
convenience, man.
it's another way to mentally stimulate them.
Yeah,
And by
yeah, they
just
get
giving
to
them that
chase them down.
smoothie, you're not.
They get to
You know.
chase it and hunt it. Do a natural instinct.
Yeah.
Facts. All geckos, to be completely honest with you. I mean, unless there's some type of like that I'm not aware of, like pollen eating or some type of gecko that doesn't. I mean, it's what red lizards do. They eat prey. They're predators, man. Like I mean, the smallest of geckos, they're predators. Like it's people should stop trying to change the natural instinct of animals and just get on board. Like it's just freaking strange to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So we're coming up close to this end right now. Ant, you want to hit him with your closer?
All right. I will. I will do that. All right. So I usually ask everybody the same question. Please don't take offense to it. It's not that I have nothing else to ask you. It's just I like hearing everybody's answer.
For sure.
If you ran into a child, maybe a younger version of yourself, and he wanted to grow up to do what you're doing. He wanted to live this reptile life. He wanted to keep and work with specific reptiles for the rest of his life, and maybe make it a lifestyle. What advice would you give that kid that wanted to grow up and keep reptiles?
Probably start small and stick to what you truly are passionate about. Don't go no
Love it.
starking yourself and having a million different species. Find out what you're truly passionate about. Stick with it. Everything good will come along.
It's awesome. It's my
Nice.
favorite answer when people say, deal with what you love. So many people out here, morph chasing and trend chasing. Never ends well. And it leads to nothing but a flooded market full of unwanted animals.
Yeah.
Work with what you love. If you have enough passion in something, I assure you someone else will find the passion in your passion alone. Just work with what you love. Absolutely great advice. Great advice.
Yeah, just
Oh,
find
yeah.
find what you're like truly passionate about. Find the species that scratches your itch,
Yeah. No, I always say don't let influencers influence you
Yeah.
on what you like.
That too.
You know?
Yeah, if you like a $10 gecko, buy it. Doesn't matter what other people
Facts.
think. If you want
Yeah.
morning geckos or something like that, do it. Some of my favorite geckos that I keep are my viper geckos. I will never not have viper geckos in my collection because they're
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
super cool to watch. They're super fun to breed and they're just great to have. So
Yeah. And they're colonies. They're
yeah,
colony
and you can keep
geckos.
them in a
Yeah.
colony. They're sweet.
See, that's something else I like. I want to try to dig into is some colony stuff. Colony and live bearing. I need a live bearer. I need one. I just need to
Yeah.
just kind of see what that shit's all about.
Live bearing stuff would be cool. I'm working with some Partho stuff, waiting on them, growing them up right now. The Binos geckos, the Australian Binos geckos.
Nice.
The Australian
Yeah.
ones,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm working on something with those. So I'm gonna be trying
Those are the ones Matt
a
has?
bunch of those things. What?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, well, a friend of ours was just bought some parthenogenetic Australian geckos.
Yeah.
But is there more than one kind? Is there more than one species of parthenogenetic Australian geckos, or is it just that one?
I think it's just the Binos. I don't believe there's any other species, but there might be. There's a lot of Australian geckos. There's a ton of Australian geckos. It's like 200 and something, 290 something or whatever.
Damn, that many?
There's
Yep.
a
And
ton
we only got a
of
few.
Australian geckos, dude.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, they got a cool ass cave gecko that I like that's out there, but we can't get it.
The chameleon geckos, the leaf-tailed
Yeah.
geckos. Like I have a Salbrosis over here. Super cool species of gecko.
Another
Nice.
one on my list of maybe getting geckos.
Yeah,
That
the
list keeps
Aussie
growing and
leaf-tails
growing.
are really cool. I sent my
It's all
Amnicola down to
Australian stuff,
Landon.
Jack.
Landon
Oh,
has
yeah?
my male Amnicola, but I kept my Salbrosis. My
Yeah.
room doesn't really fit the cooler like montane species as well. They needed a lot
Yeah.
cooler than this room will accommodate in the summertime at least.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be a issue or not. I mean, won't be an issue. It's just something I have to figure out. That's all it
Yeah.
is. Like
Did you
I
ever
probably
try
Just
either of you guys, those PC fans? I got this, this Sikore the other day, this Sikore leaf tail, and they typically, obviously, I'm sure you both know, like it a little cooler than my room does, the New Caledonia stuff. So I went and bought these fans, even though my temperature's not crazy hot in here. It's like 75 degrees right now, 70% humidity, the whole room. They like it a little cooler. So I went and bought these two 4-inch waterproof USB powered 10-speed PC fans. Figured I'd
Yeah.
try them.
Are they working pretty good?
Yeah, definitely.
I
Like
just got them yesterday, dude. I put them on and I see the leaves in the tank moving. So I'm hoping so, man. Because summertime
if
it gets up to
anything,
the 80s in here, and I don't know that it's going to work out with her in here.
I mean, it gives you air exchange, so that alone is a good. That's a benefit. Any
Yeah.
air exchange is a good thing.
Well, I was reading you can flip it, right? So when you missed it, obviously, even with human beings, sweating and evaporation of that sweat, in theory, is what cools us down. Our body sweats, so the sweat evaporates and return, cooling us down through due to evaporative cooling. So it's kind of the same thing with an enclosure. If I spray the enclosure and I flip the fan the other way and evaporate it, it should actually cool it about 5 degrees just by keeping it moist and the water evaporating. But I'd rather not have to experiment, but it's some science I've been digging into.
Yeah. Sometimes we have to experiment to make stuff.
Yeah,
work
definitely.
for
I
us.
mean, where we all live at, we all live in different areas, so we have to figure out what works for us. Like I said, I'm in Arizona, so I got to put ice cubes in a humidifier and get cool mist or cool fog in my Sikarays cage.
For your girl, that's what you're doing? That's what you're doing?
In the summer times. The summer times I will. I'll drop
I'm
ice cubes.
panicking with this girl, man. I'm like sick to my stomach. And since I got her, I've been like,
I'm-
I've only lost one gecko in 20 years. I've lost any reptile. It was this Sikare that I got, and I still don't even know what I did. I don't even know what happened. I was talking to Jack, and it looks like it was gout. Maybe I over, supplemented it, but Like, it eats me alive that I lost this animal. And I had already got one in a trade before I really lost that one. I was waiting for the winter time to get it shipped. And just like, I never would have went and got it, man. It destroyed me. It destroyed me. I don't lose animals, man. Not to sound smug or cocky by any means. I don't lose animals.
No,
This
I
thing
mean,
dying messed my head up, man.
yeah, that definitely sucks. Everybody has something happen to them eventually in this hobby. Like, it's inevitable.
Terrible.
And speaking of that, let me go ahead and ask my question now. What has been your biggest failure so far in this hobby, and what have you learned from it?
My biggest failure. I don't know. I've had a lot of failures. Failing is the way you learn how to succeed. Like, so,
Yeah.
for some people at least. I'd say probably one of the biggest failures I had happened to me last year. I had a power outage, so scrambling, trying to get stuff set up and back on power. I ran a power cable through my window so I could get my incubator back up and running before stuff started happening in my incubator. And I just stretched that thing out through the house, and my dog was running around through the house, ran through the cable, knocked over my incubator, and took out close to 50-something eggs. So
Ooh,
I've had
damn.
like major stuff like that happen. Like, that was probably the worst thing. That was, talk about a gut punch. That hurt. There's
Man,
a lot of loss in
sucks.
that one go.
Yeah.
And from that, I learned just to have probably better backup solutions for everything. If there is a way
generator, man.
that you can
Get a
have
generator.
a backup for something, just have it backed up. Whether it's,
Fair.
having your stuff on smart strips, having, like, just redundancy is key. Having just anything that you can keep stuff alive on.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, like,
Not
even when I
animals,
like
but
my
power
AC
lines,
went
keeping
out.
your power alive so you can actually keep everything else alive.
Yeah. I know, like, last summer my AC went out in my apartment.
Yeah.
And I had my sick array at the time. I was freaking out. Like, I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
But like I
Spread
said,
a
that's when
lot.
I started like, okay, let me use my humidifier. Boom, jerry rigged that thing. So I had that thing going for like an hour, then it'll cut off for like a few hours, pop back on for another hour, and it was just ice in there, just blowing. And then I also had frozen water bottles in there, so it would like drop like little cold droplets in there just until, like, because I didn't have AC for like 2 or 3 days in like the midsummer of Arizona, where it's like
that's
116, 120 outside. Yeah, it was brutal. I couldn't. Yeah, I hated my life at that time. It was so fucking hot.
That's a high stress moment.
Yeah. But dude, appreciate you coming on, talking some Oedura with us, man. So where can everybody find you at?
My Instagram's just my name, just Wyatt_Guzzy. And then on Mork Market, where I sell my stuff, is going to be under Mad Ranch Reptile. So my account's up and everything.
All right. Hey, when you get a chance, send me the link to that so I can post it onto the show notes.
For sure. Will do.
Cool. All right. Everybody, have a great night, morning, afternoon, whenever you're listening to this. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch y'all later.
Stay weird, people. Catch you later.
Yo, creeping in the dark, life nocturnal, dark and dark, both paths arboreal to terrestrial. Sticky toes gripping forest students that explore. Listen close, Gecko podcast, that's knowledge galore. Reptile talk, host Anthony and Jason. Trade secrets flow, no time wasted. From tropics to town, it's sight raining. With every chat, reptile game changing. Escaping heat waves, tan under rays, desert sand echoes, sun blazing days. Little hustlers, camouflage and maze, catch them speaking wisdom, the wild on replay. Reptile talk, host Anthony and Jason. Trade secrets flow, no time wasted. From tropics to town, it's sight raining. With every chat, reptile game changing. Sculling through the leaves, shadows unseen. Master of the skies, chameleon dream. Blizzard tails flip, script getting clean. Gecko exchange. range, true reptile fiends. Reptile talk, host Anthony and Jason. Trade secrets flow, no time wasted. From tropics to town, the sight raining. With every chat, reptile game changing.